Welcome back to Crosley Field, Thursday night, May 9th, 1963. And what a perfect night for baseball in the Queen City. The air is crisp, the field is clean, and the hometown Reds are looking to grab another win as they close out this four-game homestand against the Colt 45s. Tonight, Jim Maloney gets the ball for Cincinnati, looking to build on his 3-1 record. For Houston, it's Ken Johnson, a tough luck 1-4 right-hander, hoping to finally catch a few breaks. Around the country, civil rights demonstrations in Birmingham continue to dominate headlines, while in baseball, the Giants have reclaimed the top spot in the National League after a late rally over the Cubs this afternoon. But here in Cincinnati, the big story is the offensive eruption the Reds are hoping to unleash, and no one's more central to that than their rookie second baseman. Bottom of the first. One out, no score. Casco reaches on a single, and now Pete Rose steps to the plate. He comes in batting .277 with 1 home run and 11 RBIs. He's drawn 9 walks, and tonight marks his 22nd big league game. Johnson checks the runner from the stretch. Johnson kicks and delivers, and Rose doesn't chase on ball 4. Pete shows patience early, working a walk to put runners at first and second with just one away here in the opening frame. That's his 10th free pass of the season. Crosley Field is buzzing early, and the heart of the order is ready to take advantage. The Reds don't score here in the first, but they're just getting warmed up. We now move to the bottom of the third, and things are beginning to tilt in Cincinnati's favor after a walk to Maloney and a single from Casco. The Reds have runners on first and second with nobody out. The score is still tied at 0-0, and that brings up Pete Rose for his second at-bat of the night. Already with a walk in the first, he steps in looking to deliver a spark here with 2 men aboard. Johnson deals. Rose slaps it hard on the ground. A one hopper to short. Hartman scoops, flips to Temple for one. On to first. Double play. A textbook 6-4 to 3 twin killing. Casco moves to third, but Rose is erased, and just like that, 2 down. Fortunately for the Reds, the inning was just heating up. Pinson follows with a double, and then Robinson drills a 2-run single as Cincinnati puts up 4 runs in the frame. Rose doesn't get in on the action this time, but the team jumps ahead. Bottom of the fourth now. Reds lead 4-0. Harper singles to start the inning. Maloney gets a bunt down, and Casco keeps the rally alive with a walk. Here comes Pete Rose for his third trip to the plate tonight. 2 men on, 1 out. Rose swings. High fly ball. Way up there, but it's not going anywhere. Temple backpedals into shallow right, waves off Warwick, and puts it away for the second out. That's a routine fly out to shallow right field for Pete Rose, now 0 for 2, with a walk tonight. He's not quite finding his timing yet, but the Reds are rolling regardless. Moments later, Robinson belts a double to the gap, and the Reds tack on another run. It's now 5-0 Cincinnati after 4 innings at Crosley. Bottom of the 6th now. Reds are pouring it on. They've chased Johnson from the game and knocked around 2 Houston relievers. Pinson leads off with a single, and Robinson follows with a thunderous 2-run homer off Umbricht. The Reds now lead 10-0, and the crowd is loving every second. As the inning continues, Pete Rose heads to the plate for the 4th time tonight. Bases are empty. 1 out. Umbricked into his motion, and Rose cracks it toward the right field corner. That's slicing away from Warwick. He's sprinting over. It drops. Fair ball down the line. Rose turns first and cruises into second with a double. That's Pete's fourth double of the season, and it couldn't come at a better time. He'd been quiet at the plate most of the night, but now he's right back in the hit column. Robinson follows with a no-doubt home run to left, and suddenly it's 13-0 Reds in a full-blown rout. Move to the bottom of the eighth. Yeah, the Reds are firmly in command, up by double digits. Robinson just launched his second homer of the night, and now the stage is set for Pete Rose's fifth plate appearance. He's 1 for 3 with a walk and a double so far. Bases are clear. 1 out. Yeah, McMahon delivers. Swing and a miss. Rose chases a fastball upstairs for strike 3. Now, a rare moment of frustration for Pete, who goes down on strikes to end his night at the plate. That wraps up a busy evening for the rookie. 1 for 4 with a walk, a double, and an RBI sacrifice fly earlier in the week. That's keeping his numbers steady. Final score from Crosley Field, Cincinnati 13, Houston 3. Welcome to the Polo Grounds in Manhattan on this cool Friday night, May 10th, 1963, where the Cincinnati Reds have arrived to kick off a weekend set against the New York Mets. A crowd of 14,474 has gathered under the lights as the final homestand at this historic park rolls on. In national headlines tonight, the U.S. has confirmed the deployment of the Polaris A-3 missile system, signaling another step forward in Cold War defense capabilities. Meanwhile, in the baseball world, Sandy Koufax continues his return to form with a dominant outing last night for the Dodgers, striking out 11 against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Here in New York, it's Bob Willie taking the mound for the Mets, while Jim O'Toole starts for the Reds, looking to bounce back from a narrow loss his last time out. Let's jump straight to Pete Rose's first at-bat. Top of the first, no score, 1 out, runner on third. Pinson has just tripled into the right center gap. A golden opportunity for Rose to pick up an early RBI here at the cavernous Polo Grounds. The rookie steps in with Willie working from the stretch. The crowd buzzes, sensing a scoring threat. Top of the first, 1 out, runner on third. Bob Willie peers in and gets the sign from Sherry. He checks Pinson dancing off third. Here comes the pitch to Rose. Crack. Pete jumps all over a breaking ball and launches it high and deep down the right field line. It's Karanichi. Way back and gone. Pete Rose hits his first home run at the Polo Grounds, a 2-run shot into the lower deck. Pinson trots home and Rose rounds the bases with a cool nod toward the Reds dugout. That's home run number 2 on the season for Pete. And it puts Cincinnati ahead early, 2-0. The Reds dugout is fired up, slapping helmets and cheering the rookie on his return. Rose now has 12 RBI on the year. Let's head into Pete's next plate appearance. Top of the third, no score. 2 outs, bases empty. Rose returns to the plate with the bases clear. Willie still dealing for the Mets. He digs in from the left side, eyeing that short right field porch. treated him so well earlier. Top of the third, 2 outs, nobody on. Willie wins and deals to Rose. Pete swings and chops one sharply toward the left side. Fielded cleanly by the shortstop Moran. He sets his feet, fires to first. Out. Rose is retired on a routine 6-3 ground out. A quick, efficient inning for Willie. He settles in after the early homer, and we're headed to the bottom of the third, still with the Reds on top, 2-0. Top of the sixth. Score tied 2-2, nobody out. Bases empty. Rose will be the first man up here in the sixth. New ball game now after the Mets tied it with a rally in the bottom of the fourth. The crowd's buzzing. Rose steps in, looking to reclaim the lead for Cincinnati. Top of the sixth, nobody out. Bases empty, game tied 2-2. Willie peers in and gets the sign. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Rose. Swung on and hit sharply, but right at second. Baseman Ron Hunt, who barely has to move. He snares it on the line, knee high. Line out. One away. Rose hit it on the screws, but didn't find a gap. That's just how it goes sometimes. Top of the eighth, 1 out, runner on first. O'Toole, game tied 2-2. Rose digs in. Can he deliver again? Willie still pitching, working from the stretch. Top of the eighth, 1 out, O'Toole on first, tie game at 2-2. The crowd leans forward. The crackling old PA system hums over the Polo Grounds, and the tension is rising. Pete Rose, who already took Ken Willie deep earlier tonight, digs in again, this time with a chance to tilt the scales in a deadlock contest. Willie looks in, sets, and fires. Ball 4. Willie misses low with a sweeping curve, and Rose trots down to first base. That's Pete's second walk in the past 3 games. And he's now reached base twice tonight. O'Toole advances to second, and with 1 out, runners are on first and second. Vada Pinson steps to the plate. Coming up, Pinson at bat, 1 out, Rose on first, O'Toole on second. Top of the eighth, game still tied 2-2. Top of the ninth, 1 out, Reds, trailing 3-2. The Reds were stung an inning ago by Jim Hickman's solo blast. Now, down to their final outs, they're looking for a spark. The shadows stretch across the old Polo Grounds as Pete Rose steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a walk and a home run back in the fourth. The crowd is buzzing, a mix of anxious Mets fans and hopeful Reds diehards. Ken Willie is still on the mound, working into his 9th inning of duty. He leans in, nods, and comes to the belt. Here comes the pitch. Willie fires a fastball on the outer half. Rose goes with it, slapping a line drive into left center. Hickman races over in the gap, but it drops in front of him for a clean base hit. Pete Rose rounds first, but wisely retreats with the tying run now aboard and just one out. The Reds' dugout comes to life. A two-hit night for the rookie, who's now sitting at a cool .286 average on the year. That's his 19th hit of the season. Next up, Vada Pinson representing the go-ahead run with one out in the top of the ninth. Top of the ninth, Reds trail 3-2, runner on first. Rose. One out, Vada Pinson at the plate facing Mets right-hander Carl Willie. Willie glances toward Rose, who takes a short lead at first. Pinson digs in. The crowd murmurs as Willie sets. First pitch, fastball. Pinson swings and lashes it into right field. Rose takes off immediately, rounding second as Cook hustles over to cut it off in the gap. Pinson cruises into first with his third hit of the night, and Rose darts up to third base with no hesitation. Reds now have runners on the corners, one out. The tying run is 90 feet away, and the go-ahead run is on first. Frank Robinson now strides in. Willie takes a deep breath on the mound. The Mets bullpen is quiet. This is his inning. The crowd leans forward. First pitch to Robinson. Curveball. Robinson swings. A high chopper to third. Neal charges in, gloves it cleanly, and throws to second for the force on Pinson. But there's no play at first. Rose scores. Tie game 3-3. That's an RBI fielder's choice for Robinson, and he now stands at first base with two outs. Coleman steps in. He's 0 for 3 tonight and looking for redemption. Willie stays with the breaking ball, working the corners. Coleman gets a piece of one, but skies it to shallow left. Cannell drifts in, calls off Hunt, and makes the catch to retire the side. But the Reds have tied it up here in the top of the ninth, heading to the bottom of the ninth. Game tied 3-3. Bottom of the ninth, game tied 3-3. Jim Hickman, the hero of the eighth, leads off for the Mets red stick with Jim O'Toole, who's going the distance here. Hickman steps in. O'Toole rocks and fires. Swing and a miss. He gets him with a fastball belt high for strike three. Big. First. Out. Next up, Norm Sherry, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts tonight. He's desperate to make contact. First pitch. Popped up. Shallow right side. Rose drifts back, calling off Coleman. And makes the catch in shallow right. 2 down. Now it's Al Moran, the light-hitting shortstop. Mets fans on edge. O'Toole goes to the changeup. Moran taps one to third. Casco charges, scoops, fires in time. 3 up, 3 down for the Mets in the ninth. We're heading to extras at the Polo Grounds. Top of the 10th. Game still tied 3-3 due up. Edwards, Cardenas, Harper, Willie remains on the mound for New York. Edwards, first pitch swinging. A deep fly to right, but playable. Cook backs up and makes the catch. Cardenas next. He's had a quiet night. He works the count full and chops a grounder to second. Hunt fields and throws him out. Harper steps in with 2 gone. Willie tries the backdoor slider. Harper lines it to left. A single to extend the inning. Now it's O'Toole's turn. Hutch hasn't made a move yet, and he doesn't. O'Toole stays in to hit. Willie makes short work of him. Strike 3 on 3 pitches. Reds strand 1, still 3-3. Bottom of the 10th, Mets try to walk it off. Willie leads off the inning, but manager Casey Stengel sends up a pinch hitter. Rod Canel stays in to bat. O'Toole delivers. Canel taps one to short. Cardenas charges, makes the throw. Got him. Neal now. O'Toole hangs a curve, line drive down the left field line. Fair. Neal motors into second with a double, and the Mets suddenly have the winning run in scoring position. Hutch stays with O'Toole. Ron Hunt comes to the plate. The crowd's on their feet. O'Toole peers in and deals. Hunt lines it into center. Harper charges fields. Fires. To the plate. Too late. Neal slides in. safely. Mets win it 4-3 in 10 innings. Final. New York Mets 4, Cincinnati Reds 3, 10 innings. Pete Rose finishes the night 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored. Polo Grounds for Game 24 of Pete Rose's rookie campaign as the Cincinnati Reds take on the New York Mets in this May 11th, 1963 matinee. Pre-game at the Polo Grounds, Saturday, May 11th, 1963. A clear, crisp afternoon here in Upper Manhattan, where over 9,000 fans have filed into the grand old Polo Grounds. The Mets are still finding their footing in only their second year, while the Reds are looking to build momentum on the road. There's been plenty of buzz today. New Gallup polling shows President Kennedy's approval rating holding steady at 59%. And around the league, Mickey Mantle returned to the Yankees lineup this afternoon after a week off with a sore leg. The Reds lineup stays steady at the top with Pete Rose batting second and playing second base. He comes into this one hitting .288 with 2 homers and 13 runs batted in. Bottom of the first, Rose is first at bat. Top of the first saw the Reds strand a pair after a 2-out walk to Robinson and a strikeout from Cardenas. Now in the top of the second, Pete will dig in for his first plate appearance. The situation, top second score, tied 0-0, 1 out. Nobody on facing Mets. Lefty Al Jackson. The infield set straight up. Jackson kicks and deals. Top of the second, Pete Rose's first at-bat. Jackson fires a 1-1 fastball. Rose gets under it and sends a high fly to left. Thomas drifts back near the warning track, settles under it, just shy of the fence, makes the catch. Rose gave that one a ride, but it dies just enough in the cool New York air to stay in the yard, 2 away in the inning. That one had a little carry, and Rose gave it a long look as he jogged it out, but nothing doing. Casco drew a walk to open the inning, but Spicer Rose's fly is the Springer Reicher second out now after Harper grounded into a force. Coming up next, bottom of the third, Rose due up again in the top of the fourth. In the meantime, let's fast forward through the action unless Pete comes back up, simulating to his next at bat in the fourth inning. Top of the fourth. Reds trailing 1-0 after the Mets scratched a run in the second on a Coleman RBI single. Robinson leads off and reaches on an error. Cardenas follows with a single up the middle. That brings up Pete Rose. Top of the fourth. Rose's second at bat. The situation, no outs, runners on first and third. Reds trail 1-0. Jackson still on the mound. The Mets defense draws in at the corners, bracing for a potential bunt or sharp grounder. But Rose has other plans. Jackson deals the 0-1. Rose slashes a liner into right field for a base hit. Robinson crosses the plate easily from third. RBI single for Pete Rose. Cardenas holds at second as Warwick gets the ball back in quickly. Rose pumps his fist at first base. Another run driven in, and that ties the game 1-1 here at the Polo Grounds. That's RBI number 14 on the season for the Reds rookie. Reds 1, Mets 1. Still no outs in the top of the fourth. Runners on first and second. Vada Pinson coming to the plate. Top of the seventh, Mets Waukese, did I say Waukee? Mets 2, Reds 2, 1 out, nobody on. The Reds have clawed their way into a tie, and as the late afternoon sun angles through the old Polo Grounds, Pete Rose digs into the box for the third time today. He's already contributed an RBI single back in the fourth that leveled the score, and now he's looking to spark something in a deadlocked ball game. Al Jackson remains on the mound for New York, working into the seventh, but still showing decent command. He toes the rubber, peers in for the sign, and sets. The crowd is hushed in anticipation. Al Jackson weans and delivers. Rose lifts a high fly ball to straightaway center. It's well struck, but not enough to carry in this spacious Polo Grounds outfield. Snyder trots back a few steps, settles under it, and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Rose peels off toward the dugout, giving a quick glance at the barrel of his bat as if to say, missed it by just a touch. The Reds still have a chance to scratch something out this inning, but now there are 2 down with nobody on. Coming up, Frank Robinson steps in, looking to ignite a 2-out rally. Ninth inning, Reds trail 3-2. Schreitzer 1 out. Nobody on the shadows are creeping across the Polo Grounds as we enter crunch time in this tight one between the Mets and Reds. New York clings to a 1-run lead, and the Cincinnati bench is leaning forward in unison as their leadoff spark plug steps to the plate. Pete Rose digs in for what could be his final chance to keep this game alive. He's 1 for 3 today with a walk and a single. But the Reds need more. The crowd buzzes nervously, some hoping for a rally, others hoping the rookie is kept in check. Willie remains on the mound for the Mets, working efficiently into his 9th inning of action. Here's the setup, score, Mets 3, Reds 2 inning, top of the 9th outs. 1, bases empty. Pete digs in. He tugs at his jersey, takes one last practice swing, and locks eyes with the pitcher. Willie rocks and fires. Fastball over the outer third. Rose times it beautifully and lashes a rocket into the right center gap. Hickman gives chase from center. Warwick sprints over from right, but the ball splits them both and caroms off the deepest part of the Polo Grounds' oddly shaped outfield. Rose motors into second and doesn't hesitate. The Reds' third base coach is waving him on. Pete slides headfirst into third with a triple. The tying run is now 90 feet away. The dugout comes alive. The Mets bullpen scrambles. The Polo Grounds crowd rises to its feet. This game just turned tense in a hurry. Top of the 9th, Reds trailing 3-2. Pete Rose on third, 1 out. Vada Pinson at the plate. Willie stays on the mound. No sign of movement from the Mets bullpen. He peers in for the sign from Sherry, nods, kicks and deals. Pinson swings and lifts a shallow fly to center. Hickman is under it. Rose tags at third. The catch is made. Rose bluffs but holds. That's just not deep enough. Now 2 outs. The pressure turns to Frank Robinson, who's 0 for 4 today, but always dangerous. Willie can't afford a mistake. Here comes the first pitch. Robinson swing grounder to short. Moran fields cleanly, throws to Cranepool, and that's the ball game. The Mets hang on for a 3-2 win, stranding the tying run 90 feet away. Pete Rose's triple was electric, but the Reds couldn't cash him in. Final score, New York Mets 3, Cincinnati Reds 2.